on this episode of my LASH 2 brain cells.
And so for me, I would never put my name on something and sell it unless I was confident that it was the best of the best in the industry.
And that's hard to do.
And that is very hard. I would pretty much have to quit everything. Hey, friends.
Hello.
Wait, how do we usually start the podcast?
You say, hi, I'm your host, Madison.
Oh, yes. Sorry. I've had a day, y'all. I've had a day. I'm like, girl, where am I?
And welcome to my LASH 2 brain cells.
I'm your host, Maddie Morris.
And I'm Elliot. Good intro.
Oh my
We're really,
God.
it's good to see that we're improving over time.
Really. Oh my gosh. I had a day, y'all. A day and a half.
A day.
And today.
Yeah, I'm going to turn this down just a tiny bit.
Should we start it again?
No, you're good.
No, I think we should start it again. That was bad.
No, that was funny.
That was bad.
No, we can't. We're going.
It was bad. I'm embarrassed.
It's too late.
All right.
We only got one take.
All right. I'm your host, Maddie Morris. This is Elliot Morris, and welcome to my
LASH 2 brain cells.
And today I want to talk to you a little bit about product lines. Having a product line, the pros of having a product line, the possible cons of having a product line, why I don't have a product line, have never had a product line,
and never will have a product line.
Never will have a product line. That is a definite. That is decided. I know people can change their minds all the time, but this is a core.
We're pretty sure.
It is like a core value of mine.
Really?
It's part of my brand. It's part of my personality at this point.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say on this topic, and I get the question all the time, especially now that our account has a lot more reach. We're reaching millions and millions of lash artists a month. People are always like,
That's crazy.
What products do you sell? Where can I buy your tweezers? Can I pick up glue? Like, what glue do you sell? Do you use? Like, it's kind of just like,
are you cooking glue up in the back of Lightheart Studios?
Yeah, where is the little adhesive elves in the back cooking up the glue?
We keep them back there on that side of the curtain. That's where they are.
Yeah. And I just want to be completely transparent with my experience with product lines and kind of how I came to the decision that it would be best for my company, in the future to not have a product line, but why it might be for you and why it might not. So this is going to be a very informative episode if this is something that you have been pondering.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of friends that have product lines,
yep.
and I have a lot of friends that have very successful product lines, and I also have had friends that really, really struggle. And it is a very steep learning curve.
Definitely. Oh, for sure.
And I want to just preface this by saying lash products specifically. I'm not talking about cosmetics or makeup or anything like that. Lash products for eyelash extensions are all handmade. Everything is handmade. Lash extensions themselves are made out of PBT fiber, which is essentially plastic. It's burned and cut and rolled. And if you ever watch the videos on YouTube of how lash extensions are made,
it's crazy.
Your mind will be absolutely blown. And so I have a lot of respect for my friends that have product lines and go through all the testing, all the hand testing, all the manufacturing, the communication, because it is not for the weak. It is a lot of work. So if you are someone that is passionate about product knowledge and selling product, there are a lot of things that you need to be considering if this is a route that you go down. Cool. So I want to touch on the positives of starting a eyelash extension product line.
I like this. Last week it was me talking a lot, and now I get to chill.
You get to just sit back and relax.
I should make a reel.
You should respond to my DMs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through your DMs.
It'll stress you out.
No, it would. Do you guys know the amount of DMs Madison gets every day?
You should guess.
It's insane. It's
comment
literally,
below how many DMs you think I got.
I couldn't do it. Like Madison, I have to give Madison my phone to respond to my text messages, and I get like 5 in a day.
And it's literally just like his
and
mom
I get
and like one of our renters.
Yeah, and I get overwhelmed, and I'm like, Madison, help me out. But she gets, I won't even say because you're going to guess.
I love responding to my DMs. And that's one of the reasons why I don't outsource it is because I love it. I love DMs because my love language is words of affirmation and like solely words of affirmation. I have no desire.
You love dishing it out.
Yeah, I have no desire to spend like a lot of time with anyone or receive gifts from anyone or get acts of service done to me.
I hate spending time with people.
I like spending time with you.
Aw.
Yeah, but I words of affirmation is like all I need. Like you could literally just tell me I'm doing a great job and that'll fuel me for a week.
You're good.
So my DMs, it makes me so happy when people like trust me with their questions and advice and they
That's so
tell me
sweet.
they like the podcast. Like
That honestly, when you, because Madison always
Oh.
shows me those too.
Yes,
Whenever
if you
anyone
send
says,
me a DM and you say I
love
love the
it.
podcast, I
Oh.
immediately screenshot and text it to Elliot because
makes me so happy.
it makes my heart skip a beat. So don't think that I'm just like, thank you so much, girl, and I move on, because my heart is like so I want to talk about the positives of having a product line. Number one is it is a recurring revenue stream. Yay.
Yay! It's
Everyone-
good, honest, and that's a big plus. Like the fact that it's
That's not a small thing.
no, that's huge. That's like honestly the reason the entire industry works. Like once you get a customer and they like your stuff, then they're sticky. They keep buying from you.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And people have a lot of brand loyalty when it comes to lash extensions. Like if people got trained with a company, 20 years ago, chances are they're still using that company because it's what they're used to, and they're
what they use.
scared of switching it up on their clients, somebody noticing, the product being off. So there's a lot of comfortability between the artist and the product line that they're using. And
That's true.
I've definitely fallen into that trap. I mean, back in the day when I took like 6-7 lash trainings in a couple of years, and I would just be married to whatever product
the most recent training.
recent training gave me. Yeah. Like I was a brand ambassador for a company like for 6 months, and I just wasn't passionate about it at all. I just was comfortable using those products because it's what came with my training.
Yep.
And they were fine. So yeah, it's a recurring revenue, which is good if you're looking for something that can continuously bring money into your business.
It means the lifetime value of each customer is very high. Like
Yeah.
you look at our stuff and you could be like, wow, they charge a lot for their stuff. They must be making a lot per customer. We make less per customer than 90% of lash product companies, because imagine like we sell one course
Yeah.
that you buy one time for $200, say. But if you're buying lash products, you're buying 5 trays at a time, 10 trays at a time.
Oh, that's so funny.
Okay, but let's say you're
I
buying
buy-
let's say you're buying 10 trays at a time, but
Okay.
you buy 10 trays every month.
Yeah.
You buy 10 trays a month from a brand. You're buying each tray's $20.
Yeah.
Or what is $20 reasonable for a tray?
Yeah, $20 is average.
Yeah. So you're buying $200 worth of trays every month from them, 12 months a year.
Yeah.
That means you're spending $2,400 a month just on lashes.
Yeah.
At minimum, probably more.
I blow through 10 trays in a full set.
Well, don't be like Madison.
I blow through lashes.
Oh,
you guys.
Madison she just throws caution to the wind. She's just like, you see lashes flying up behind her if you look in her room. It's just like, it's like in the Santa Claus when
Yeah.
he makes the toys.
Yeah. Being a lash trainer is all fun and games until you have to place product orders. And I average about, what?
Like $3,000 per order.
I'd say about $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just on-
it's a lot.
Just on kits.
It's a lot.
Just on kits.
Yeah, just on kits.
I have
yeah.
no idea what I spend on my own lash stuff.
Yeah, I
Probably-
don't even know.
Probably a lot.
Maybe we should track that, but
It's fine. It's fine.
we're such bad examples.
Yeah. Other positives is you have control of the quality. So if you have trust issues with like buying from big brands where you aren't aware of like how the product is stored or manufactured or anything like that, if you have a great relationship that you've started with a manufacturer, and you guys have like built a relationship, chances are you can have pretty good control of the product. And that is a big deal because when you're working with things like lash extension adhesive, very, very sensitive chemicals that you're working with, you need to know exactly like how much direct sunlight it's come in contact with, how long the shelf life is, how long that bottle has been white labeled, opened and unopened. So if you are that kind of personality where you can be in control of the product, it might be a plus for
It
you
might be a good
to
fit.
be in charge. Yeah.
for sure.
The product landscape is ever evolving.
True.
You brought this up, so do you want to talk about it?
I did. One really interesting thing about lash extensions in particular is because the industry is still fairly young, compared to like, cosmetics, skincare, all that. It's still changing at a very fast rate when you compare it to things like cosmetics. Cosmetics, you'll have billion-dollar brands that are just have insane marketing budgets. They have insane legal budgets. Like if you make anything that's slightly similar to them, then they could just sue you. And even if they're not going to win, they can just keep throwing lawyers at you until you run out of money. And they have just tons of money to like it's a very high barrier of entry for something like cosmetics. But for lashes, because it's a younger industry, those giant companies haven't had a chance to get a foothold. And like there are big companies in the space, but they're nothing compared to the large companies in like other sectors. And there's still, because there's new advancements in like lash technology coming all the time, like people are coming up with new glue formulations and people are coming up with new ways to manufacture lashes and new materials to make lashes out of. Like there are
things are advancing constantly.
they're moving. Like even like if you and it sometimes doesn't feel like that, but if you look at 90% of the products 5 years ago and compare them to the products now, like half of them are going to be different.
They're archaic.
Yeah, no, they look way different.
Yeah.
And that means that there's a ton of opportunities for someone to jump in
and
on the cutting edge, because
innovate, improve.
Exactly, because as companies get bigger, it's harder for them to introduce new products and start new product lines because they're so invested in their current existing products and inventory. One, they don't want to cannibalize their existing market to introduce like a new style of lashes. They're like, oh, this is the best, because it's going to cannibalize their other sales. So they're very careful about like introducing new stuff, which opens up the door for someone who's like, okay, I'm just starting out my product line. I am going to talk to a bunch of different manufacturers, see like what's new that they're doing, that they're working on, that like no one else is importing yet. Like what are the new techniques or technologies that they're using, or new materials that they're using. Like I'll try them out. I'll be the guinea pig. I'll see if they're good or not. Chances are they might be terrible, but if you try it enough, you'll find like something really good. And then maybe you find a new formula for glue that works really, really well that some manufacturer is just trying out, or you work with a manufacturer to develop a new type of glue that works really well for a certain application that you're really excited about. And because there aren't these huge players that have these huge contracts with these manufacturers, a lot of manufacturers are much more likely to talk to someone who's just starting out their business. Whereas if you try to do something like cosmetics, no cosmetics manufacturer is going to talk to you unless you're like, oh, I'm going to have a minimum order quantity of 500,000 units.
Yeah.
Like they won't even talk to you. But lashes, because it's a smaller industry, because there's so much new stuff going on, you can often talk to manufacturers and get your foot in the door with saying, you know, I'm going to buy $5,000 worth of product in my first order, and they'll still talk to you. So that is it's a very cool thing about where the lash product industry is right now.
Yeah,
I think
that is very interesting. And even since I started lashing, 7 years ago, which is not a long time if you look at the lifespan of lash extensions.
Oh yeah.
There are adhesives on the market that are becoming popularized in Europe that are cyanoacrylate free, that are literally latex based. Like that was not,
that wasn't a thing.
Not a thing back in the day. Like
and the crazy thing to me is that they actually work well. That surprised me.
I've done sets with them.
Yeah, that's so surprising. And like obviously some people are very allergic to latex, so you can't use it on them.
Yeah.
But the chances that someone is very allergic to latex and cyanoacrylate is pretty low.
Yeah, it's just really interesting that they're like constantly innovating on stuff that for a long time we were like, this is the only way that it can be produced and it can be made and can be safe.
Yeah, and maybe because latex adhesives are so new, like as people refine the formulas for them, who knows, maybe they'll be better than cyanoacrylate-based adhesives 5 years from now.
I don't know.
If you're starting a lash brand, maybe look into that.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be your thing, is latex-based adhesives. If we make you a ton of money, you owe us royalties.
Yeah, period, Elliot.
That's why we really started the podcast.
Period. And this is the part where if you're a lash or tweezer manufacturer and you're listening, click away. I love you guys. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. You're sweet, 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 honest people. But I want to talk about why I personally don't have a product line, never will, and never wanted to. In the earlier days of my career, when things were really taking off for me and I was growing like crazy and my Instagram was blossoming and my trainings were taking off, the number one question I got was like, where's the product line? Are you going to make a product line? Where are the light hair products? And It seemed like everyone was kind of pushing me into that next step. And so I flirted with the idea and I ordered like a small quantity of lashes from a manufacturer somewhere. And I just remember like looking at this stack of lashes, white labeled lashes that I had ordered. And I was just like, truthfully thinking, I am not passionate about this.
This does not spark joy.
This does not spark joy for me. I want to build a brand that is always aligned with my passions and what like sets my soul ablaze. And just thinking about product, like I want to use the best of the best products in the world. That'll always be the standard for like what I offer my clients and my students. Is I will always seek to use the best products that are on the market, and I will seek those out from whichever reputable brand matches that. And that's always what I've done. And so for me, I would never put my name on something and sell it unless I was confident that it was the best of the best in the industry.
And that's hard to do.
And that is very hard. I would pretty much have to quit everything.
That's the thing. That's I think the second reason that you haven't done it is because if you're going to do something like that, we would want to go all in on it.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing with education.
I'm not trying to do anything unless I'm going hard, you know?
Exactly. And with products,
I'm not trying to dip my feet in the water.
Exactly. With products, like if we were going to do products, we aren't going to white label products because we would want to have like deep say over what goes into them, how they're made, how they feel, all this stuff that you just can't do with white label products. You can find like good stuff, but there's very little influence that you can have over it. So any little things that you don't like, you kind of just have to deal with.
Yeah.
And so we would have to, we would have to go oftentimes to like places like where Vietnam,
Pakistan, pretty much where everything's made.
Wherever they're making this stuff, and we would have to go talk to the people of these factories. We would have to like go back and forth for months and months, like trying stuff.
Guys, I would
stuff.
not. If I'm dead serious, I care about the quality of what we put out so much that if I was to have like a manufacturing company in another state making products for us, I would like learn that language.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you would.
I'd be on Duolingo learning,
No, you would. And
because communication for that stuff is so important.
So important. And you don't want things to be like misunderstood. And it's like there's just so much that goes into it that like I think.
And those are hardworking people. You don't want them to be making the wrong thing and they spend all this time.
They spend all this time and then you're like, oh, that doesn't work.
The people in the factories work hard.
Yeah,
if you see those videos of them.
It's true.
Like.
They're very talented.
They're very love your work.
But yeah, no, like it's just something I think we could do a very good job making a product line, but it
would require more.
We would have to only make a product line.
Yeah, I would not.
And we don't want to do that.
There wouldn't be no My Last Two Brain Cells.
And you guys wouldn't have My Last Two Brain Cells. So
I know. Okay, so number one reason why I decided against it, one was passion. My passion wasn't aligned with it. But B, it's very experimental. Making a product line is an extremely experimental process, and anyone that has a product line will tell you that there is so like much room for error with communication, especially with order quantities. The quality
control is so hard.
The quality control is extremely difficult, and the upfront costs can be
very high.
Crazy, especially if you're trying to like kind of reinvent something. Like if you're trying to make something creative, maybe it's a tweezer that has a different shape, or you want like very unique, I don't know, a unique finish of lash, or you
just want to put your lashes in a box that's different from the rectangular,
if it's anything that's outside of the standard of what is like just the traditional products you can purchase on Alibaba for
it gets expensive fast.
It is gonna pile on like crazy. Number 3, I hate going to the post office.
Honestly, that's true. That's why we don't sell merch. Actually, like
because we had a clothing line for lash artists and I did so well.
I mean, it was kind of merch, kind of clothing line for lash artists. I mean, it was more than just merch. It was cute designs. I liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I worked with an artist overseas, and
but it did not spark joy.
I was at the post office every day, and like it did not spark joy.
No, because we were just sending off every time we got like 10 orders. We were like, okay, we print off the labels.
Anytime I got one order, I'd have to run to the post office,
true.
And then it's like
it was just it was a lot.
I'm making $1.
Exactly. After gas.
After gas and the bag and
in
the
this
label
economy.
and this economy, and they got their email wrong, and oh my gosh, their size is wrong.
Have you seen the price of eggs?
The price of the price of these eggs is crazy. Okay, so Yeah, I hate going to the post office.
So yeah.
I'm not even kidding you guys. I hate that kind of monotonous stuff. I won't return things. That's how much I hate returning things. If I buy something...
Madison, if she gets something and it doesn't work, she'll literally just throw it away.
No, oh my gosh, no, I will not. I will give it to a friend. I will give it to a friend.
You've thrown away stuff. If you can't give it to a friend...
Guys, I'm a minimalist. I hate clutter. I love the feng shui. But if I order something and it's just like the wrong size or it's not for me, like I'll either give it to Mariah, give it to a friend, and if it's just like absolute garbage, then...
Garbage.
If it's garbage, I'll put it in the garbage.
I'm
not putting it in a box with a stamp and a label and bringing it to the post office and leaving it. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So if I had a product line and someone needed to like return something to me,
you would say, babe, don't even worry about it.
I would be like, do not even worry about it.
Refund.
I would constantly take L's.
Yeah, you would. I
would constantly take L's for the sake of
money.
my own convenience.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And it's not that I'm lazy. It's just that like I have so many million things to do every day that I wouldn't want to have a product line unless I could invest my all into it.
Yep.
Yeah. So for us, my passion lied in education. Like it's always been in educating all beauty professionals at this point, outside of even lash artists, at every stage of their career. So for me, that is something that I would like to be my life's work. And so products would be a distraction from that.
Yep.
I wanted to talk about strengthening our brand.
Oh yeah. I think this is a not small point. And I think
it's a big point.
I think that would be not small.
Guys, drop a heart in the comments if you're like Elliot bullies Maddie.
I do. I bully you too
Team
much.
Elliot or Team Maddie?
Team Elliot or Team Maddie? It's everyone's gonna be Team Maddie. Who's gonna be Team Elliot?
He always bullies me. I'm just saying it is a really big point. Like,
no, it is
to strengthen our brand.
So I think our trainings are better, and the advice that you give is better and also more believable because people know that you are only trying to educate, and you are not trying to educate in order to get people to buy products.
I got nothing to sell, y'all.
We got nothing to sell except for knowledge in your brain.
And a lot of the trainings that people attend, the purpose of the brand's training is to sell products. Like it's a funnel to purchase products for a lifetime.
Yeah, we mentioned this in the last episode, but that's why they're cheaper. That's why product brands that have trainings, those trainings will generally be a lot cheaper than independent trainings.
Because the education isn't the product. The products are.
Nah, you're the product.
Okay. And that's not like a nefarious thing. It's just like that's just how business works. Like if they can get you in
100%.
And have you...
I don't blame them for it. I'm like, it's a genius marketing
No, it's not a bad thing at all. I'm just
great.
saying, I've worked for big brands. Like if you can teach an amazing training with a lot of product knowledge and you get them to trust and love the products in person, they'll use them forever. So that's why a lot of brands teach trainings, and that's like the purpose of their training. But the purpose of my trainings aren't to sell you anything. I give you a kit of products that will work for you.
We don't care what products you use.
I personally do not care what products you use, but I can teach you what the products that you do use do. I can tell you from every single brand that you're using what like chemicals are in every product you use, how you can use your tweezers, what lashes work, differently.
And we can give you an honest pros and cons of the brands because we're not one of them.
Without there being any alternative.
If we were one of the brands, we would say, well, these ones aren't great. Ours is fantastic, though.
But ours,
so obviously.
Ah.
But since we're not, we can just be like, this one's good at this one's good at this.
Yeah.
And so we'll tell you what brands that Madison uses because those are the ones that work for her, and then she's being honest because it's like, what's in it for her? Nothing.
That's what I love about my trainings is like people really can focus on the education because there's just not an emphasis on stuff, on the stuff that they're using.
Yeah, and I think that is important for people to keep in mind when they are taking trainings with brands is like make sure that like you are focusing on like getting the education out of it and that you're not just going there to pay them to advertise to you.
Well, it's kind of like when you go see a makeup artist. Like I've gone and seen makeup artists before and they try to sell me stuff the entire time. Yeah. And I'm like, whoa, like if you go to MAC, they'll just tell you that you can only get your makeup done at MAC and these are the products you have to use. Yeah. But if you go to like an independent makeup artist, they'll use 25 different brands on you.
And they'll be like, well, this foundation
and they can
really
educate you on why things work differently for your skin type rather than just one cookie cutter brand.
Per.
And I think to close this off, I think it really gets down to follow your arrow, and like really sit down with yourself when you're presented these kind of opportunities. Like when the first tweezer manufacturer reaches out to you, they'll say, "Hello, dear. Are you interested in trying our tweezers?"
Which they will,
Which
if they
they
haven't
will,
already.
babes. They will.
They are relentless.
They are relentless.
The tweezer manufacturers. The tweezer manufacturers gas Madison up more than I do.
No, literally.
Every single post she has, they're like, gorgeous, babe.
You are so beautiful, dear.
You are
amazing, talented.
You are a goddess.
Yes. And if you are a bigger lash artist on Instagram, you can back me up. The tweezer manufacturers go so hard.
They do.
They want your business.
Oh, they want
so badly. And I'm always very sweet to them.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Don't be mean to tweezer manufacturers, you guys,
No.
because listen, these people are just doing their job. They're just
doing
trying to
their
sell
job.
eyelashes. Okay.
Yeah,
So
don't be mean.
Don't be mean to
Be
tweezer
nice,
manufacturers.
but say no.
But boy,
Say no
but
nicely.
boy, oh boy, are y'all funny.
They are funny. They are
It'll be
funny.
like 3 a.m, and my phone will be like, and Ellie's like, "Who's texting
No,
you?"
she'll get 20 texts in a row. And these guys are so bad. They will say, like, if her phone's on Do Not Disturb, they'll say notify anyway. And it's like, bro.
And they're like, "Hello, dear, do you want to try your lashes?" And I'm like, "Whoa!"
Whoa.
Yeah, so
calm down.
yeah, love the tweezer manufacturers. And it's really been an interesting ride, like being in this industry and being so just inundated with constant product and constant innovation and constant brands reaching out, and it kind of feels like a little overwhelming at times, and it can feel attractive to want to have your own brand. But
True.
if that is something that is attractive to you, I would really do your research and look into all the things we talked about.
Yep.
And
I think we gave a very good pros and cons. Like, if
it's equal. It's really equal.
Yeah, if you listen to this and
To
the
me, there's
pros
no-
were like, oh, that's incredible, and the cons, you're like, I don't really care about that stuff.
Do it.
I'll deal with that.
Do it.
Then it's for you. If
It's for
you
you.
listen to that and the cons seem like the worst thing in the world, and you're like, I would hate every day of my life, then
Yeah.
don't do
I'm
it.
truly
Do
of the-
something else.
Yeah, I'm truly of the opinion there is something for everyone, and there is magic to be found for everyone.
That's very cute.
Live, laugh, love.
I
Thank you for listening.
I don't want to like toot our own horns too much, but I think that one good thing that we are doing is we are showing that there are other very viable ways to make money in this industry other than having a product line.
That's true.
And I think that is a good aspect of our brand, is like,
Yeah.
you don't have to open a spa or have products in order to make money in this industry, which were like the two main ways that people would like expand after being an independent lash artist.
Mm-hmm.
Either they would start hiring people or they would do products. And when you were starting out and looking at it, those were the only two things that we thought of,
Yeah.
right? You were
Yeah.
looking at that space in Alaska and you're like, okay, maybe I'll like start a place, I'll hire some girls, but then you're like, I hate everything about that. I hate the idea of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were like, okay, well, maybe I'll start a product line because that's what everyone talks about. And then we looked into that and we're like, okay, that also sounds terrible. So like the education stuff is kind of a result of the fact that we didn't want to do the two main things that people do after they're like doing fairly well at being independent.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I mean, I've never even slapped my name on a lash cleanser.
nah. And that's like you just
The easiest thing to do.
oh yeah, people just are out here mixing baby shampoo and water in a little spray bottle, and
they're like Brittany's Lash Boutique.
Brittany's Lash Cleanser. If your name's Brittany and you've done that,
It's all good, babe.
It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good. That's okay.
But yeah. So thank you so much for listening, you guys.
Thank you so much. I like this was a little shorty episode.
Yeah, a little.
It's cute. Short like you.
It's fun size. Okay, well, we'll talk to you guys next time.
Love you so much.
Love you so much.
And also, I know that Madison and I make fun of each other sometimes, but don't worry. Our home life is good.
Yeah, mommy and daddy still love each other.
Mommy and daddy still love each other. Everything is good.
Don't worry, one Christmas.
One Christmas. Love you so much. Smooches.
Smooches.